What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Today we are back on the Pro Perks Podcast number 8. Finally said that with Silent to Despair, Dia Silent, as you all know, and our special guest, very special, both mentally and to us, Don, the Dawn of the Ages. Don, how are you doing,
VGProtagonist.
Yeah, VGProtagonist.
Hey everybody, what's up?
The protagonist, and how are you doing, Don?
Oh shit, he's doing that accent again.
Oh no.
Yeah, I'm trying to be like Foster, where I'm boisterous and ambitious and loud.
I could see it, but
No, well, Foster's at his best when he's screaming at the top of his lungs.
Yeah. Don, well, how have you both been doing? I always ask that question, but how have you both been doing?
I'm actually doing really good. By both, do you mean me in despair, or me and like my best friend that's sitting beside me?
Who's your best friend that's sitting beside you?
He's my imaginary friend. I don't have many friends.
Silent, how have you been doing?
You already know how I've been doing.
Yeah,
I nearly
know how you've
died,
been
then I
doing.
went and
know how
got
you've been
drunk.
Okay,
Great way to
so,
start the podcast.
what is on the list for today's podcast topics?
Steam machines and how they, what are they?
What are Steam machines? All right, what are Steam machines? I got one. If you guys are wanting to hear about them, actually no, let's skip on it because it's about the next gen consoles, but none of us have next gen consoles except for me, as far as I know. So,
Unfortunately, it's not exactly easy to buy something that much money and feel comfortable with yourself later doing it.
shut up, Dawn.
Some of us
Make me
work
feel
off a
self-conscious.
very measly paycheck. Sorry, sir.
It's okay, Don. I appreciate your lack of sensitivity. Anyway, so what exactly is a steam machine anyway, Don? You'll have to make up for it by telling me what the fuck a steam machine is. So go on. What's a steam machine?
I would tell you, but I'm still really hung up on the fact you called me insensitive.
Insensitive.
A Steam machine is pretty much Valve's way of saying, hey, we want to put consoles in your living room, and we want to secretly tell you that it's not a console, but it's not a PC, so you'll be interested enough to buy it. Definitely a step in the right direction in terms of putting like a computer in the living room for everybody to enjoy, but
Right.
is it priced, is it priced correctly? Like I was saying, it's not exactly easy to feel okay with buying like an expensive next generation console right now for a lot of people because the economy is already difficult as it is. I don't really know how I feel about it, but I think it's like a step in the right direction for Valve. At least at the very bare minimum, it is a good step in the right direction.
To be fair, when has Valve ever failed?
Well, we
Fucking
never really
Half-Life
did.
3.
Yeah, I was gonna say we never did get Half-Life 3, but I don't want to bring that up because that will just start a flame war in the comments. I'd feel really
I
uncomfortable
wish
about
there was
starting a
always
flame
a
war.
flame war in the comments. I can never get those bastards to comment. I love you all.
Well, you can't fail if you don't. If you can't fail at nothing.
Like,
And
comment,
not drunk.
subscribe if you really would like to start a flame war.
Don
In fact,
knows
get
how
upset
to,
because
Don knows how to do it. Don knows how to do it.
I'll be the first comment. I will go out on my own will and I will make a tech start middle finger just to start the flame war.
All right.
Hey, this is Bob. Bob doesn't like the new YouTube layout. Help Bob in his conquest to destroy YouTube.
All right. So I got a question for you about the Steam machine then. If they're saying it's a living room machine, how do they plan? And I don't know how reliable the source is, but did you say it was dual? Like, where did it?
Dual booting.
I know Silent said it was.
Some
dual
of
booting.
them, they're not all dual booting. It's like the more expensive ones are dual booting.
All right. Well,
so it
let's
has
say
two-
it's just going to go off. Sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, what were you gonna say?
Okay. Well, I was just gonna say let's assume it just goes off the Steam modded OS of Linux. But were you
Well,
gonna say
no. It has two different operating systems. You can choose at the beginning, like when you first start up, like not necessarily when you first start up, like anytime you start up your computer, there will be an option to choose. Okay, do you want to start up with the Steam OS or do you want to start it up with Windows 8?
See, and that's where it gets fuzzy because if they are utilizing the Windows 8 model, which will just call for more coding, call for compatibility with every single piece of the hardware they're using, then that's just going to take more time for them to actually release this. And we don't know that much about it. We don't know. We know the price range goes from $800, which is very cheap for a PC, or higher end PC that is, to all the way up to $6,000. And
I'm actually taking a look at the current specs list, and it's saying there's even cheaper than $800. There's supposedly $500 machines out there that are supposed to be in competitive in a competitive race with the new consoles.
Right, and just to make sure, the $6,000 model that we have seen, it has dual Titans, as Silent pointed out. What they really mean by that is, hey, we can add dual Titans, so we're winning. Yeah, we can do it just because. And that being said, though, if dual booting is pretty much okay, so let's just say dual booting is a thing for every single Steam machine manufacturer. All right, let's just say they have one model of Steam machine and it has dual booting. That Windows 8, if let's just say it's really easy to use Windows 8, it's not a tablet, in other words. You can do a lot of different things, go into Sony Vegas, Adobe Photoshop, etc. With those dual Titans, you can now be a content creator. That's something they've brought up before. That's something that they defend their own model with. If you guys are planning on doing this with the operating system, then the user can become more of a content creator than just a gamer. And that's what that I don't know who manufactured that model, but that's basically their defense to an extent.
I do agree with you, but besides just hardware and the abilities that the Steam Box gives the person, because we all know that the Steam Box is designed with not just a good price point in mind, but they're also designed with trying to bring to you a lot of really strong components for a really cheap price and not having to worry too much about the build cost. But the other big issue is software and the OS itself. And right now, since the Steam OS just came out, there are a lot of limitations, and Linux is already it's a good operating system, but it is the least popular from my knowledge. And
Steam gives it a lot of love because of Gabe Newell.
Well, yeah, of course. Gabe loves anything that's not Windows, or anything OS X related. But I don't blame him for that, because Linux has, I think, the most potential. And I prefer my Windows 7 laptop because I will always love Windows 7. I think it's amazing. But
yeah, same here.
I think the big thing is that Silent said before that with the Steam machine, it has the ability to it's dual booting. You can either start in Windows 8 or you can start in the Linux customized Steam OS. And as good of an idea as that is, Windows 8 has caught a lot of flack for being, it's not as good as Windows 7.
Alright, so I want to talk about that real quick, because that's bullshit. It is made for tablets and phones, and it's wonderful software. If there's change, we're afraid of it. We hate it. It's bullshit. Give it a couple years, we'll get over it. Especially if it's about quick scoping. Bondar.
Well, I do agree with you.
I just want to say something about it. I run it right now. I'm running it on the XPS I have, and it's not. The interface is what's different. It's an app, really. It's an app machine now. That doesn't get in the way of the software engineers. That really doesn't. What's behind the coding or the wrapper of the software, as you can say, is really what matters. And Windows 8 right now does not interfere with what the engineers are doing. In fact, it just interferes with your daily life. It doesn't day-to-day life is what I meant to say, daily. What I'm trying to get across here is, if people are giving shit to Windows 8, it's just because they're afraid to change, or it's because Windows went with the tablet only or tablet enthusiast kind of,
Windows,
of a change.
Don't forget the immense blemish that Microsoft still tries to cover up, the ever infamous Windows Vista.
Yeah.
What about
that? Wasn't. We all know Windows Vista was like
the worst operating
they
system.
dropped the ball. They were the kid in gym class who had the ball past them and just got decked in the face and started crying. Seriously, Windows Vista was
no. What, they didn't get decked in the face. They somehow managed to ingest the ball, so no one could play anymore.
Cool, Windows. We're just gonna finish gym class over here, go to the nurse's office, and never come back.
See, I wouldn't know. I wasn't around in Vista. Just kidding. It was, but I never used it. Now, I do know that since Windows 7 and Windows 8 has come out, then it's more CPU intensive, so that's also something people bring up. I can't leave it idle anymore without it taking up 16 gigs of RAM, or 16 gigs of RAM over 5 hours due to background operations. And anyway, we're getting off topic here.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like I was saying, it's not that Windows 8 is bad, but the thing is, I know my girlfriend personally has a desktop that runs Windows 8, and I know people who have Windows 8, and I do know for a fact that even though it's an app and just the looks are changed, everything is a bit more intuitive and different, and it's designed with tablets in mind. I get that, but the Steambox comes with SteamOS, which is already limited, in Windows 8, which does have a lot of bugs, especially with certain Steam games and sometimes startups and issues.
Yeah.
I know that's there, and I feel
Yeah,
like
definitely.
that is also going to get in the way of people who are trying to create said content, like you were saying. I think that that's an actual issue that needs to be addressed.
Right now,
And I
now I'm going to
think
cut you off there, and sorry to do so, but
no, you're right.
it
Good.
could also be hardware because, as
Yeah.
we all know, the infamous Fallout 3, whether or not it's Windows 8 or Windows 7, it was made for dual core processor, not quad core. It could be a fault of the hardware. And right now, there's not that many specs that are concrete and solid because there's a bunch of different models that Steam can choose from. And Valve, and who knows? Maybe Valve will take the long short run. It's very expensive to do, but in the long run, it'll help, and perhaps it can even narrow down which one was going to be the right decision, which one is. Maybe they'll just manufacture the top three, cheap, mid range, and then the highest possible, the highest and most what is called highest end. Maybe they'll do that. But when it comes down to the hardware, where there's just not that much concrete specs right now, specifications by Valve, we have to wait to
Valve's
see.
it's the Steambox isn't just. I don't believe it's an open thing.
You know what?
So,
it is. You can open it
anyone
and change
could
out the
make
GPU,
one,
right?
call it
For
that.
example. Sorry to cut you off, but right, you can do that, right?
You can do what?
You can open up the Steam, change out the GPU card, or put more RAM
Yeah.
into it, for example. Okay.
Yeah.
It can get improvements. It's not like it's
That's the entire. That's the big point
Mhm.
of the Steam boxes is you can just swap out parts like you could for a PC.
Right. Anyway, as you were saying, Silent.
That was what I was saying. I was
Oh,
just
okay.
speaking.
My bad, homie. But yeah. So this being said, if it's going to be a living room machine as they want it to be, then what's stopping me from buying a $500 machine called the Xbox One, which is a living room machine, which I have an advertisement on Skype right now on my screen. That's funny. Than buying even a $600. I save $100. So what's stopping me from just getting an Xbox One, which is much more reliable as far as we can see, has no problems with its own operating system, has little to zero crashes when it comes to gaming, is rock solid, already out. There's different models coming out in the future. What's stopping me from getting an Xbox One?
I think
Probably a little something called the Steam sales.
well, that's definitely probably half of it, but I also want to say Steam itself, because even though the Steam community is definitely not like the biggest out there, it is known as the PC gaming retailer. Nobody really talks about Origin, nobody really discusses anything like that, but it's Steam. And with the Steam box, everything coming out, and it's Steam OS and all that, you don't necessarily have to be running Steam on this machine while you're doing other activities. We already know that for certain, probably. But the thing about it is you have Steam. There are hundreds and thousands of games that are specifically controller supported. They can run on your machine. Almost all of the games have undergone a guarantee check to make sure that your machine can run it. And I mean, that's an extremely large market. Like Despair said, there's sales all the time. The box has tons of space, and just for installing your games. That's just insane. And I mean, granted, you have the Microsoft, you have Xbox Live Gold and the PlayStation Network Plus stuff, but you have to pay for those subscriptions in order to use online servers.
That, though, is what the Steam machine is going to be doing in the long run. It's going to be more expensive. As I said before, and you guys are both making amazing cases for the Steam box. You're making me want to buy one. If I can change out stuff in the Steam box where he has in the Xbox One, it's much more reliable. I don't have to worry about changing out a GTX 660 for a Titan anytime soon. The Xbox One, and this isn't my choice, by the way. It's not fully optimized for gaming, but let's just go with it. Xbox One, reliable, has little to zero crashes when it comes to any game. I don't have to worry about upgrading it. The RAM is perfectly fine. It's set for a reason. But in the long run, it's going to be cheaper to buy the Xbox One for that reason. I don't have to keep upgrading and say, you know what? Those Steam machines are killing me because Steam's not on the Xbox One.
But I mean, and I don't want to like cut you off either. But I'm thinking, I can see your reasoning with like the price point, because I do think that the current consoles definitely offer a much more budget-wise experience. But right now, I think what the entire R&D department for what Valve is doing right now with the Steamboxes, I think they're really just putting out a lot of different models to see what people are buying. Like you said before, I think in the future, the Steambox is going to be more of like you want to get something because you're getting a new apartment and you want to get like a console for it and everything because your parents want to keep the fucking Xbox to watch DVDs because they're old and lame, so you want to get a Steam machine, right? Well, there's like a $500 package, and then there's like the $800 package, and if you somehow have college tuition money left over,
and right there, that's what. Sorry to cut you off, but right there, that's when Microsoft has cut in and said, you know what, we're going to release the Stingray for $200. That is a Netflix device and a DVD player. That's their counter to the Steam machine. That's their counter to the different models of the Steam machine, I mean.
I know, but that doesn't seem like as much of a counter as much as it is a way to draw attention. And
right.
I mean, right now
that is if Steam is going to say, you know what, we're going to release 3 different models. One in the lower ranges for those who are mild or casual gamers, those in the mid ranges for the majority of the people, and those at the very high end specs that want to stream while they're gaming, while they're talking to people on Skype, whatever the case may be. This is the high-end machine, $6,000. That's when Xbox says, you know what, our lower-end model will only cost $200, $400 less than yours, and it has internet capabilities, and our highest model, the Xbox One, is capable of all the stuff with Windows 8. What do you have to say about that? That's their counter. It really is a counter if you think about it. Now, of course, you know, my argument here is completely off of past events. Xbox One's already been released. That's not a counter anymore. That was set. That wasn't it wasn't a dedicated counter to the Steam machine. That's not what they were. That's not what it was intended for. The Stingray, I'm calling it Stingray because that was its code name. I gave it air quotes there. But the Stingray, that's yet to be released. Still, like I said, it's an attention getter. People, they don't want to be the redheaded stepdaughter here between Sony and Valve right now. Yeah, fuck Nintendo. Get the fucking Wii U out of here. But yeah, they don't want to be redheaded. Sorry, but I like
the Wii U.
I'm just saying, because we're not discussing the Wii U at all.
I don't want to bring Nintendo into this because I want to leave Nintendo in the corner. But I do, like, we're talking about Microsoft and we're talking about Valve here. A lot of the market right now is dominated by Sony and Microsoft, and they're really butting heads. And I feel
right
like
now, I just want to say one more thing. Only 30 seconds. To those viewers who are thinking of buying an Xbox One or PS4, and you just want to see what's going to happen in the next couple of years, within the next 10 years, Sony and Microsoft are going to decide whether or not they want to pursue PCs completely, or they want to continue consoles, which they'll most likely go with PC if Valve goes with consoles. Anyway, as you were saying, Don, my apologies.
I don't think it's really going to be as much of a fight like that. When I think about PCs and I think about where the industry is going, even though they're trying to put Steam in the living room, I don't think that is like the overall, like, that's the overall goal. But they don't want to just make consoles, really. They're just trying to put Steam into the living room for families to enjoy. And in the past year and a half, Steam has been making a lot of major upgrades to Steam. Big picture mode for people who are playing on consoles or have their desktop hooked up to the big screen TV.
Yeah, that's true.
So you can see that. We have the new family sharing beta, which is definitely a step in the right direction for sharing games and being happy with the content you're getting, because I think family sharing, even though you can use it amongst more than your family, obviously, if you have the right things set up, it's a way to share games and demo games and play games and enjoy things that any gamer would want. And I think that that's a step in the right direction. Right. I know that right now with Valve trying to put, they're trying to put themselves out into what a lot of people are considering the console market. I see it more as a jab at Microsoft and Sony, saying you people are not the only ones who can bring entertainment to people in the living room. You're not the only people who can get Netflix and have YouTube on the console and do online games and stuff like that. Steam's been doing this just as long as they have, except on a platform that a lot of PC people are used to. And it's not like I keep saying, they're not trying to push the whole we're going to be the next big console thing. They're just trying to really put themselves out there as an alternative, and that's what Steam has been for a lot of people to begin with. And that brings up another thing, because I'm looking at this article right now on Engadget. It was an article written by Mark Whitten, and he explains that in an interview that he had with a couple people at Microsoft, people there at Microsoft themselves understand that the Steam machine is not to kick them out of place. They see the Steam machine as not really as competition, but something that the Xbox One is going to end up sitting beside in living rooms. People are probably going to own a console, but there's also people out there, there's a lot of us, I know, I guarantee one of you in the Skype call probably has not just an Xbox, you probably have a Sony system somewhere in the house. It doesn't have to be...
Doesn't have to be a console, is that what you're saying?
Well, I mean, it doesn't even... I mean, granted, a lot of people have, like, a Sony DVD player, and I mean, I have a PS2 and a GameCube. I had both at the same time, back in the old generation of things, because now that's considered old, unfortunately, which really depresses me. But it's not that big of a deal. It's just... It's an alternative. Microsoft knows it's not just, that it's a way to play games. And like I was saying before, with the Steam consoles and how subscriptions and are set up nowadays, even though the consoles cost more, like let's say you're paying for the basic Steam box package, you don't have to pay online monthly for your subscriptions. And with that whole family sharing thing, you can link to maybe my account. If I have you added on Steam, I can just be like, oh, you want to play Battlefield 4? You don't have it on Steam? Well, you can give it a try and see if your Steam box can run it.
See, that's what Microsoft had tried to do.
Whoa, wait. You just said Battlefield 4 on Steam.
Well, I mean...
Steamboxes, technically, the Steam OS runs Steam games. And Battlefield 4 is an Origin game.
Well, EA is actually trying to get Battlefield out there as bad company. Negotiations between Valve and EA, not Origin. Origin's a
well, no, he does have a bit of a point. That's a bad example. I'll admit that. But there are plenty of games that you could do that with. It's not just Battlefield 4. But I'm just trying to explain. There are options in the future, and it's not that they're trying to push to be the thing here. They're just trying to be an alternative. And I feel like a lot of people are really giving them some shit about it.
No, hold on, because that's what people have been giving shit to Microsoft, and so it's nothing different really, unless it's mainly to you guys think you're going to be the next big thing. The family sharing, that was going to be on the Xbox One. DRM policy, that was going to be on the Xbox One. Steam, what we're not hearing about, we're not hearing about the bad things about the Steam box that are actually in the big picture. DRM policy, I want to hear about that. Monthly membership, if anything, I want to hear about that. I want to hear about how you guys are going to manage microtransactions, security. I want to, if it's going to be a living room machine for families, I want to hear how easy it is and streamless it is. Streamless. I almost said steamless. That could have been a pun. Streamless.
Don't go there.
For me to go from Skype on the Steam box to shutting it down from the kids using Skype just in case anything bad happens and they go on the internet and start buying a bunch of games, or whatever the case may be. I want to hear how easy it is to set it up as a family device, where he has the Xbox One, PS4, insert gaming device already out right now, fuck the Wii U, where it's already, you just put in how much time until, or when it shuts down. 6 a.m. in the morning, shuts down, an example. What we're not hearing about from the Steam box right now, once again, is the negatives, and that's what's getting me right now. And you guys are making such a great case for it. I really want to buy one now because it sounds so awesome.
Well, it's also not as much of a case either, because there are definitely some serious downsides. Like, I know it may seem like I'm really supporting the push for this, and I'm definitely pro Steambox, but there are some negatives that they really haven't brought to light yet. Like I was saying before, the controller, I do not care if Steam makes, or Valve makes, a controller specifically for this box. That is not an alternative to my QWERTY keyboard. There will never be an alternative to it. I have never touched and fingered an object more than my keyboard and my mouse, and nothing will replace that. Even a controller that I have touched plenty of things, but nothing is as sacred as my laptop. I would break fingers and destroy homes if someone fucked with my laptop. And passing
Someone
the
fucked with your
joke.
laptop other than
Hey,
you?
hey, passing the
Oh,
joke.
wait.
Hey, I've only seen a few other people type on my keyboard. Okay, you shut your fucking whore mouth. But listen, I want to pass the joke here. Even though they are making a controller, it's not a replacement. There's a serious lack of being able to actually fully replicate this, and I think that's what they're trying to do, but it's not 100% doing it. A Steam box is more expensive than a console, but it's not as expensive as a PC, because a PC is, it does more than just gaming, and a console is designed for gaming with other applications on it in mind nowadays, and this is the middle ground. But with the controller instead of the keyboard, there are certain games that are just not going to work. Like I said
Right,
when we were discussing beforehand, Dota.
Yeah, off screen, we were discussing Dota, which is the main stopping power for Steam to go through League of Legends, and how. Silent, have you played either of those? I know you play the card game.
I've played League of Legends.
Yeah. Okay, so you can back me up on this. There's a lot of fucking keys on that game, right? That being said, though, a console's not going to be able to accommodate that. Look at your Xbox One controller or Xbox 360. Look at your PS4, PS3 controller. At the most, those have less than 20 buttons on them that are actually usable. Less than 20 buttons. Arma 2 requires 54. How are we going to accommodate that? LOL, I don't know, depending on your character, of course. And then there's also traders or shops in LOL. There's also main menus that you have to worry about how to get to options without it looking all complicated on a console layout. What they need to do with the Steam box is make sure there is keyboard compatibility. PS4 has it. I don't know about the Xbox One, but the PS4 definitely has it. I can plug my keyboard right in right now.
The question's all
it needs to have the infrastructure of a PC or just a computer and be able to run, things like a computer, like a microphone, like this Blue Snowball, like a keyboard, like a mouse, etc. Speaking of which, I can plug in my Razer Naga to my PS4. Sweet.
And I don't want to push this either, but there's also the problem with even if they do put a keyboard on it, how comfortable is that? I mean,
well, you're saying it's a living room device, and
it's a living room device, but the thing is,
that's a huge flaw. Even though the controller is designed to look like a keyboard. Silent, if I were to tell you, you can get this device for $600. And it's called the Steam Machine. It has every game you could ever want for the most part, except for Battlefield. And it comes with many things like Dota, which is on the computer, which you don't have.
Which is free, by the way.
Which is free, but you don't have the PC capable of running it. And then they hand you this piece of shit controller. What are you going to do with that?
Oh.
The controller?
Yeah, that's the whole problem Don's been pointing out here, and he's completely zero protagonist. That's the whole thing that's flawed here.
Well, it's not really. The main thing is that since they're trying to bring it in the living room, and you have this controller, which the controller is fine on its own. It's not like the best at playing all games, but another real issue here is also saying most people in their living room are not sitting on a computer. In a computer chair with a roll-out desk or a place to put the keyboard.
To be fair, okay, I want to say one thing about this.
Go ahead.
I'm annoyed by the whole everyone wants to be the new living room thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I don't do anything in my living room. All my 360, my computer, I'm at a desk.
Silent.
That's my setup.
Silent knows best.
And that's what I feel most actual gamers have for a setup.
He's right, but I mean,
that is the best point I've ever heard from a gamer about the living room experience. That's the best I've ever heard. Well done.
Well, there's also he's right. That's the big thing. I don't actually have for the consoles I do own. I don't actually.
All three of us here. Would you agree, Don? Silent just said. Yeah. But I think we're all at a desk when we game. Is that true?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And so the thing is, I don't think it's as much of a big deal to have the whole living room initiative there, but like I was saying, another real issue is with this controller, if they do give you a keyboard option for the Steam Machine, most people who are playing a console in the living room are not sitting in a computer chair. They're sitting on a couch. How the fuck do you put a keyboard and a mouse?
Wireless.
I don't know. How do you do that with a mouse?
Logitech. Wireless.
I know.
No, where do you set
Like
the
where do you
mouse?
like where do you like? So do you set the keyboard on your
Logitech.
knees?
Okay, so I would love to link you guys to Logitech, but and there's many other keyboards out there that do this. There's keyboards that Logitech makes that are wireless, and they have the mouse pad on it. Now, of course, the mouse pad's a huge downer, but then again, you know, I think all three of us have used laptops before.
Yeah,
try to play
but
games.
I mean,
So,
when I play my games, if I am sitting on a couch, 'cause I just got back from a friend's place and we were playing his Xbox 360 and we were playing Battlefield 4 and Call of Duty Ghosts on it.
You're fucking up. You're fucking up. Those graphics
Hey,
are fucked up.
hey,
They're not
you should
optimized.
shut your mouth.
They're not
Shut
on
your
next
mouth.
gen.
They're
Go on,
perfectly
go on.
fine.
No,
But
they're not. Go
we're
on.
sitting there and we're relaxing, and I'm not sitting on the couch like I'm, back straight, feet to the floor, hands on the desk, like all relaxed and steady.
You're going
My
all at
feet,
it, bro. You're going
my
all at
feet
it.
are up on the edge of the couch. I am sitting with like a small like box of cheese balls in my like right arm, just like hogging the entire food container, and I have the controller in between my hands, shouting cursing insults at my friends. I am not sitting in the perfect position to use a keyboard.
Don
So-
is the worst friend ever to play Call of
Hey,
Duty Ghosts with it.
you-
I'm sure.
Someone has never played Super Smash Bros. Brawl with me. Check my channel out for that. I have never cursed at my friends more in my entire life.
Right. I
That's
like that.
that's 30 minutes of nothing but insanity and me screaming about how my friends turned me into a pony once.
All right, we're gonna get off this topic because
Please, 'cause I don't wanna go into that.
So, Simon,
Hey.
do you have anything else to say about it?
I don't appreciate the dead horse comment.
I did, and then I lost it.
Damn it! Find it. What the fuck are you doing, Silent? You're fucking.
Well, it's not.
Fuck.
It's
good.
just a funny thing that I came across. It has mostly to do with the Xbox One. It was a prank I came across. Just came across it on YouTube. Some
Really?
guy made an Xbox Live account called Xbox Sign Out.
Yeah, I heard about that. Where like if they say sign out while they're like getting upset with this guy, then their Xbox One tries to sign them out.
People would just say his name, and they would
Oh,
get them to
no.
sign out. Like, no. Stop
No,
listening.
that's horrible.
See, I hate that so much because the voice command. To be honest, you know what? Let's just move on to this topic. Let's just go with it. I would love if my PS4 had more voice commands. If I could just say PS4 on, and boom, it's on, which that's what the Kinect offers. Then that'd be great. One thing I'm afraid of is, I talk a lot about the PS4. Whenever the PS4 is on, so if I were to say PlayStation, it's things that no one will say. I like it because
I don't understand what's the point. Why would you even need that? If you're going to your 360, chances or your Xbox One or your
Silent,
PlayStation,
look,
those
man,
all
I'm
have
a fucking
buttons
American.
on
I'm
the
entitled
controller.
to being fucking lazy. I don't want to walk 5 feet and get the fucking controller. I'm gonna say
see,
Xbox
that's-
on, all right, Silent.
Then what are you doing?
You see,
How are
now-
you going to play the
now,
game?
this is-
How are you going
no,
to play
this
your
is
console
where-
without your controller?
See, this is where we go now. You see, we've gone entirely the wrong direction. We've gone from Steam machines and innovation to how we want to
Xbox
become
on.
fat asses.
Xbox on. And
We
then
wanna
it turns
become-
No,
on.
I hate
I'll
these
get the
voices.
controller in a minute.
I don't
And then
even want to
start
fucking
doing it.
talk. I don't even want to talk Shamrock anymore.
All right. Next topic.
Okay, cool. This podcast's over. we couldn't even get.
I
We
I
couldn't
put a
even get.
link into. I put a link into the article. I put an article to a link. Shit. I put a link to an article in the.
Words of family.
I was about to say description. Jesus, I'm not
Did
trying
you
to
just say words with friends?
No.
I said words are failing him at the
Yeah,
moment.
Oh.
I know. Thank you.
I said he could definitely use some words with friends help right
Um,
now.
Shit. I put a link to an article talking about the Oculus Rift. Let's talk about that. That's something innovation and next gen that you've been bitching about. So let's talk about it.
I need to get you.
I think we're gonna have an
thesaurus.
increase in pink eye.
All right. So I'll lay it out. What the fuck was that? All right. I'll lay it out for us for the viewers. All right. So this past E3, and I want to touch on something Infinity Ward, Activision, and Treyarch are doing with this Oculus Rift. But yeah. So basically, this past E3, we have gotten some concrete conference interviews, I guess you can call them, information, that's the word, information on the Oculus Rift, which is anyone know the exact description? Otherwise I'm going to roughly explain it.
Virtual
Technically,
reality.
then I was gonna say it's pretty much the Nintendo Virtual Boy from like yesteryear, except it doesn't suck and give
It
you
doesn't.
eye problems for life.
I don't think a lot of people know about that.
Retinas.
It's a 3-dimensional... Silent, did you have something to add?
It's a virtual reality headset.
Thank you.
Dude,
Thank you.
it says
That's exactly what it is.
Oculus VR like on the box. What is VR supposed to stand for if it isn't virtual reality?
Well, the
Very
viewers...
No, that's-
I'm laying it out for the viewers, not us, dude. The viewers don't see the article.
Our viewers aren't idiots.
I know, but some of them don't know about the Oculus Rift because not a lot of us watch E3, bro.
Dude, it was on more than
okay.
E3.
Anyway, with Oculus Rift, this brings a whole new set of questions to the gaming world, and I can't remember. I can't remember the name of the game right now, but it's a spacey shooter made for next gen consoles and PC. It's a dogfighting game, and it's especially made for the Oculus Rift. It's amazing for the Oculus Rift. There we go. I had to burp. Sorry. Anyway. So with the Oculus Rift, though, it's not completely developed. It's not even in 720. It's not even in 1080. If you can talk about the Crystal Cove here, they are now coming out with different models that will allow the developers for the games here to get a feel for what the Oculus Rift can do with their game, what their game can provide to the Oculus Rift that no one else can.
What the Crystal Cove thing does is it removes the motion blur.
Yeah, and that's
which
one.
I think everyone.
Nausea,
I don't know anyone that likes motion blur.
In montages, I do. It makes it look a bit more cinematic. That's
but when you're
the point. You're not playing a montage,
the game, it's the most irritating thing ever.
Oh yeah,
and I'll even vouch for that. When I play TF2, if I play it on a new computer or like I set it up, one of the options that's usually turned on is motion blur to make it look sick, but it just fucks with your aim and it just messes with you and it makes it a bad time.
Yeah,
it's just designed to give people motion sickness.
Yeah, and with the Oculus Rift, this is very dangerous because it not only caused nausea, it could cause seizures. So they had to fix this. They had to do a lot of different things with this Oculus Rift. Once again, it's not even above 480p, so what the fuck are they doing?
Still don't understand who came up with the idea of motion blur. I mean, in reality, you don't have motion blur in reality.
Yeah.
Why would you put it in the video game?
So this is why.
I think it's mainly I think it's like I do think it's like
completely 100% true here.
I do agree with Shamrock though. It's about cinematics. It's about graphical capabilities.
But okay, so as you know,
I do think people are getting way too obsessed with graphics. I think graphics have been fine for a while. All they're doing by making improving graphics is making the game like more you have to download for the game. I mean, Battlefield, regular Battlefield's what? Battlefield 4 is like what, 30 gigs?
Yes. And Battlefield 3 had an HD quality texture pack, even for the consoles that were like 8 gigs, I think.
Yeah, that's insane. Look at Skyrim. Skyrim looks amazing, and that with all expansion is what, 7?
Yeah. But the whole thing with motion blur, and for that matter, any fuck with your mind nausea-inducing POS option like that, is everyone here has heard of 60 FPS, 30 FPS, 90 FPS if you got a good PC on Battlefield 4, etc. So our brain is not meant to be seeing, okay, so look up a video.
Our eyes perceive at 30 frames per second.
Exactly. So if I'm able to perceive at 90 frames per second, and I shouldn't be doing that, I shouldn't be seeing. Okay, so if you look at in real life, children at a playground swinging on a swing set, they're gonna kind of blur a bit. Like your mind can't keep up with them moving back and forth that fast. That being said, this motion blur is meant to protect you from nausea, actually, even though it may do the exact opposite, because, on PC gamers especially, you're up and close on it. So you're really up and close, and that's also what FOV does. It really makes you sick unless you edit it. Now, with the motion blur, it's meant to help your eyes, make sure you're not going to get nauseous, make sure you are not going to get eye strain, headache, even though it does the exact opposite for sometimes. So really what it's meant to do is supposed to protect you, because your eyes are not meant to be seeing things that it can't see in real life in game. There you go. So, like I said, the children on the swing set in real life,
I think
you shouldn't be able to see them.
If you're going to be seeing a lot of things that you won't be able to see in real life.
In video games, you're seeing it perfectly fine. They're swinging back and forth, even though they shouldn't. Even though you shouldn't be able to see them swinging back and forth perfectly, fluently.
Oh, I'm not even talking about talking about like actual stuff that's in the game.
No, I'm talking about real life. This is
that's
what
again.
happens
Holy
in your brain. Your brain is not meant to be seeing certain
my
frames that it's taking in. That's not supposed to be a thing. So that's pretty much why motion blur is in. I hopefully explained that correctly. I got caught up But yeah, basically motion blur is just to prevent eye strain and headaches, even though it may do the exact opposite and cause nausea from time to time. Because your brain is not supposed to be taking in as many frames as it shouldn't. It's taking in more frames than it can. There you go. Fuck. On things it shouldn't be seeing. There you go.
I'll take that last one. Yeah, that sounds about right.
All right. So anyway, about the Oculus Rift, this whole virtual reality, that's been like an awesome thing to think about for the past decade. We've all wanted to see what it looks like, and it's become almost a reality. By 2020, we're going to hear something, if it's still in development, something called the Cocoon, and it's going to be, you walk into this very small black room, boom, virtual reality apparently. So
I'm still holding out for a holodeck.
So
that'll be the day. That'll be the day.
This virtual reality helmet is actually taking on its own, it's taking a leap into reality right now. It's not only just a plan, it's not in development, it's actually here. You can play it, you can buy one if you want, but you're going to have, not the best quality. But yeah, within the next 5 years, we're going to see this be released. And speaking of that, what we're going to see released with it is this, I can't remember the name of the game. I'll look it up later if need be, and I can link it in the description below when the video goes live. But Infinity Ward, Treyarch, and Activision are all working together to working with the Oculus Rift developers in order to create this game that is supposedly going to be off of Call of Duty. It's not supposed to be Call of Duty, in other words, but it's going to be a flight simulator. Not like the shitty ones you see at like military bases.
Well, the second you say flight simulator, it's already
a flight
like
video game that you can see in first person. Picture Ace Combat, or what's the equivalent, or Tom Clancy's Hawk. In first person, you get to look around, etc. That's what it's going to be. They're making it ultra realistic, etc. So there's a lot of big things coming from them. So, yeah. Oh my god, I just realized. Could you imagine if Titanfall was on the Oculus Rift? Holy shit, you're in the mech.
You did hear that they announced that there's only 6 players per team.
Really?
There's 6 players on each team, and each team also has 12 AI.
That's good. I like that.
Yeah, it's reasonable.
What about on PC?
Same.
Yeah, that's right.
It's not coming to PC.
Yeah, it is. Xbox One
Is it?
PC. Yeah,
They keep conflicting on that.
look at Origin. It's on for pre-order.
It's on Origin?
Mm-hmm. Steam.
And you're acting like it's impossible for Battlefield 4 to ever get on Steam.
Fucking Origin.
Bad Company's already on Steam.
See, now we're gonna get into the whole like next year Origin's taking over Steam. Steam's gone bankrupt because of this weird Steam machine policy, and now Origin's taking over.
See, even if the Steam machines fail, Valve isn't going to lose anything. They basically just created the concept and the OS.
Mm-hmm.
They'll have thousands of dollars. They don't even care.
They have nothing to lose with this, really. Yeah, the only people that are going to lose are the people actually making.
Yeah, or the people that are investing, which is, they should be smarter about what they invest into. But, anyways, different topic.
Do
we have a different topic?
Don, you're the alpha talker.
Excuse me.
Oh, that's not a bad thing. We're all alpha talkers.
I guess. I'm trying to think of the best way to like really. Because I do want to end this to like to move other topics.
I got one. We can do the lightning round.
Well, I was gonna say like the thing that I think we can all say about the Steam machines at the end of this conversation that I think we can all agree on. Mm-hmm. I think it's definitely a good thing. I don't think there's any real cons to this venture for anybody, because this is gonna try to push Microsoft and Sony to do better, especially if this Steam box setup actually becomes really popular. If it seems to work out and they start making dedicated machines and like this whole beta thing goes, to its fullest extent, and this becomes really important, I am hoping that we're going to see a little more effort on Sony and Microsoft's part to try to keep up with how good this might become.
I doubt that'll happen, but...
Well, I do say
do.
it's a long shot. It really is because with the how established Sony and Microsoft currently are. But I'm just saying, there's always that chance. And if there is any company out there that's going to make some wiggle room and make it so that there's, a fourth place to get your stuff from for living room entertainment, it's going to be them. Because even though a lot of people make jokes about how Nintendo's not there anymore because of the Wii U, I've used the Wii U. Hey, I've used
Sega's not there anymore.
Well,
either.
Sega hasn't been there since the Dreamcast, and they never will be.
Well, the Dreamcast was ahead of its time.
Oh, yeah,
Hey, it was.
Too expensive.
But I mean, it's not a bad thing. We can all agree on that. It's going to do something, and hopefully it's going to push people to be a little more innovative in the future.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hoping for the most.
I agree. Silence.
So, lightning round. What are we doing?
Alright, so I just want to explain it.
So we're gonna go stand outside in a lightning storm holding metal rods.
Yeah, whoever gets struck first as many times as possible wins. Go. Alright, so this is pretty much a lightning round.
Hold up. I'll be right back. I'm going to go lightning bolt thing.
Okay. I'm going to go get my lightning rod as well. But after I explain it. So, Silent, do you have your rod?
Alright, guys. I got a metal pole.
Yes.
Okay, good. Mine's in my closet to my left.
What
so
I
I'll
missed.
get that in a minute. All right, so
just expected
basically,
fun.
I've been watching a podcast, a gaming podcast. You can probably guess what it's called, but by the sounds of lightning round. But they do this lightning round, and the three people will target a guest or another co-host and just question them. Not in the mean spirit, but just questions they just have. Like, it may range from how big is your dick to what is your channel actually mean, what does your own podcast actually do, etc. It could be ranging from really weird and raunchy stuff to really serious, funny stuff, whatever. So I decided to reiterate it over here, see how
I'm
it
not
goes.
answering questions. I'm not doing that.
So, Silent, would you care to be our very first
Ask me
contender?
away.
Okay.
Oh, no.
So I'm going to think of a couple topics or questions to ask him then. Don, I propose you do the same.
I'm going to think of the worst, stupidest questions ever.
Do you want to know how big my dick is? I have a tape measure right here.
Who keeps a tape measure beside them just for the occasion to measure their dick over a podcast?
I just happened
This
to have
guy.
it in my room because we were installing some stuff on my friend's car the other day.
I'm not even.
You're not supposed to answer that one. I accidentally hit the enter button. Shit. Alright, so there's one. You can come up with 3, 4, 5. Just try and come up with 3. That's good enough. But yeah, we're just going to see how this one goes. As soon as Foster gets back, we're going to, next week, we're going to question him. Let's see, what's the other one? I got 2 more.
You could question me about Foster. I am the keeper of his answers. But I won't answer them. Privacy and whatnot.
Alright, I got 3. And I can create the last one based off of what Don comes up with. Just not completely off of yours, but just related. You want me to ask mine first now, Don?
Go ahead.
We'll go back and forth, Don. Sound cool?
Yeah, I suggest you do because I am clueless.
Alright, so as you see in the chat, you already see the first one. What console was the very first you ever got?
That was a Sega Genesis.
Sega Genesis, nice. Don, you want to ask yours?
Yeah, I suppose I can come up with one just quickly.
Okay.
Okay, favorite genre of music and why?
Metal.
Okay.
Metal. Alright.
Metal, and whoever really has a reason for liking a certain kind of music, it's just a sensation.
Yeah.
True.
When did you meet Foster the Canadian?
When? That was in...
The worst day in middle school ever.
No, I'm not Canadian.
Oh, dang it.
I'm trying to remember the exact year. 2005?
Where was it? Like real life or just in game?
It was in Halo 2.
Oh, nice. All right. Don, go ahead. Don.
How big is your penis? Since you have a tape measure, tell the fans.
Someone had to ask.
Hey, you know what? I figured since, he was so enthusiastic and he had the tape measure all ready to go and I am fucking clueless, I figured that telling the whole world how small he is might help other people feel better.
Okay.
6 3/4 inches.
There you go.
Alright, when did you come up with the name Silent Despair?
It was my original gamer tag was Silent Despair, but everyone just called me Silent D, and that's just what's stuck. That's what people call me. The full thing was Silent Despair. It changed a couple things. There was a phase where I lost Silent Despair the account, and then I had a Excellent DX, which was Silent D with X's at both ends. Yeah, and everyone called me Excellent DX, and that annoyed the shit out of me. And right now it's Silent
DX. Holy shit, that's cool.
Yeah. And right now it's Silent Death. I can never get Silent Despair back. Even though my friend came across someone who apparently got my old account got that name somehow.
There you go.
On Call of Duty. I'm like,
yes.
Well, you better kill his bitch ass.
There you go.
All right,
Make
Don.
you feel better.
You're next.
What's worse, being buried alive or being burned alive?
Buried meaning
Buried
suffocated.
alive.
Like, buried is in, you're definitely 10 feet under and you ain't getting the fuck out. And being burned alive is in, oh shit, the house is on fire and you have to be caught in and there's no way out.
Fire's worse, in my opinion.
I would say buried, because fire would kill you faster.
No, it wouldn't.
Yeah, I'd admit.
No, you'd just be burning.
Well, no, I mean,
No,
if you
it
burn,
would
you're gonna
scald your
burn up
lungs
in,
and you would suffocate faster.
you're gonna burn to death in about 15 minutes.
That's
Being
true.
suffocating, you'll suffocate for you can
Well, no,
suffocate up
if
to...
you're in a house fire and that's why you're on fire, then yeah, you're gonna die quicker because of smoke inhalation. Fuck off.
Smoke. Secondhand smoke, kids.
Smoke
Not
inhalation.
safe.
All right, I got one. Who was Silent Despair? And then I got a real good one.
Ooh, what?
Who was Silent
Silent-
Despair? Who was you? Who?
Me.
That...
I am me.
Okay, what is his personality?
If anyone had an answer for that, I would tell
Okay,
you.
fuck you. All right, you are Walter White. Do you change the course of Breaking Bad, or do you keep going as the series goes? You're Walter White. You're not Ryan Cranston. You are Walter White. Fuck off.
Oh, no.
Fuck off with your Ryan Cranston bullshit. You're not
Probably
rich.
got rid of his annoying son and wife.
Oh, no.
Definitely would have gotten rid of that stupid baby. I hate babies.
Okay, that got dark. Don, you're next.
I don't feel comfortable.
All right. You gotta buy an Xbox One and a PS4. Which one?
Oh, Lord.
I have to buy one.
These questions fucking suck. Don, you
Oh, I
go.
thought he was asking me to go next.
Don,
I'm going to
go.
get a question.
Yeah, you ask questions. Go.
Oh, I thought you were saying I'm up next to get a question. I'm like, I don't want to be a part of your stupid shit.
No, you're next though.
Okay. What's more cool? Having a car that can shoot lasers or being a ninja for the rest of your life and being
These
able to...
questions suck.
Hey, at least I'm coming up with them, asshole.
I wonder
This is your podcast. Fucking come prepared.
I am prepared.
Being
Well,
ninja
where's
would
your
be
questions
cooler
at?
because
Where's
if
your
you have a
questions
car
at?
that shoots lasers, you're going to get caught.
You're gonna get caught,
Well-
but if you're a ninja, you can't get caught. I like that, Silent. I like that. All right, you have to. All right, let's not get into conspiracy here. Do not research anything I'm about to say. All right, all right. You have to assassinate Kim Jong-un. You were hired by the U.S. government. How do you go about doing so?
How is okay? I'm gonna
Nuke the
suggest
country.
I would say you have to hide a dead body, but then
Did
again,
you
knowing
just say nuke?
Silent, he would probably he'd be telling us his actual plan when he does have to do that. So
I just nuked North Korea.
you just nuke North Korea. All right, you have to stay off the radar though, and if they find out it was you or they
There won't
blame
be a
you-
radar once you nuke it.
What
No,
the
no.
fuck?
All right, well then what about China and Russia? See, I poked a huge hole in your fucking logic here.
China and Russia don't
As if
like
there's
North
any
Korea.
logic.
Shamrock, do you ever use logic?
No one likes North Korea except North Korea.
Dude, China's backing North Korea. What
Hey,
the fuck
liking
are you
yourself
talking
doesn't
about?
count.
Don, you don't even know what the hell your profile picture is of.
Hey, you know,
I don't even.
I am trying hard.
I don't even know if that's a cat or a monkey on his
Hey,
shoulder.
it's a character.
It's a demon cat.
Don't bring
It's
me
a demon
into
cat.
my...
That's what I thought. Yeah, fuck you,
Hey,
Don.
hey,
All right,
They're talking
silent,
to
silent.
your
Nope,
podcast,
nope. I'm not listening. Anyway,
Coming from the guy's
your
mouth.
Xbox.
Sit.
Shut up, Xbox. I'll get it later.
You fucking rather yell obscenities at a plastic cube than fucking walk 5 feet.
Had a plastic.
And you're telling me I can't have my
Plastic
my
box.
Skype picture. Fuck you, Shamrock.
All right,
Fuck
silent.
this podcast. You should unsubscribe. All
Yeah,
of you.
do
You should
it,
feel
Don.
bad.
Do it, Don.
I'm
Do it.
unsubscribing. I'm not even gonna follow you
do
on Twitter
it.
anymore.
Do it, dog. Do it. You ain't even following me on Twitter.
Hmm.
All right, there you are.
Silent gave up.
All right,
No,
Don, is
so-
that all your questions?
I was gonna ask like what his favorite game is of all time on a
Okay.
serious level.
Oh yeah, we discussed this last week. Yeah, go ahead.
Halo 2.
There you go.
And that's a I should have just guessed.
All right, so that is this week's lightning round. It fucking sucked, but that is okay. There's always.
I tried.
No, Don, it's not your fault. It's not your fault.
Well, I'm crying right
It's
now.
not
You
your
don't
fault.
understand my feelings.
Shut up, Silent. They got really quiet. All right. So I think it's time to wrap up the podcast. Everyone ready?
Are you ready, Dom?
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us on the Pro Perks podcast. It is Saturday, January 11th of 2014. May there be many more years of the Pro Perks podcast to come, whether or not it is on YouTube, SoundCloud, and iTunes. Thank you for watching. We will see you next week. Best wishes from Foster the Canadian and everyone else on the cast and crew.